Hello, everyone. This is Chauncey Wyatt, aka Charlie Brawley. I'm back. I am back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. And I'm back with something really, really fresh and cool, something that you're going to like, and something that works extremely well. For those who don't know, there is a new website that I have. It's called permutationspro.com, and it's literally spelled permutations, pro.com. PER mutations, MUTATIONSPRO.com. Now, what is permutationspro.com? Permutationspro.com is mainly my new website in which I'm inviting everyone to allow me to play for you. Okay, whether you want to do it with a team or whether you want to do it as an individual, you just go onto the website. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick and give you a little idea of what's going on. Before I even show you really quick about how team play works, I'm actually going to play. Actually, I'm not going to play because I don't have any money to deposit it. I normally don't really play online, to be honest with you. Ever since I've learned this new strategy, I've been working on this now since I did the original permutations video. It's been about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And but I've been working tirelessly on a number of different newer methods that are like mind-blowing, and it's way beyond what I originally taught with Permutations Pro. All right, let me see if I can get it to come up here. Give me 1 second. But anyway, while that's going on, and pardon me in advance, I do have a very slow computer. Not only a slow computer, but I'm in an area. Actually, it's not my computer. It's really where I'm at. I'm actually traveling right now, so I'm at a hotel, and for some reason, this service is just really bad. Normally, hotels have really good service, but for some reason, it sucks. All right, but look, so let me just do this. Let me see if it's the website's up here. Permutationspro.com. Just taking a moment for it to think about it. Like I said, it's just I've never seen more slower service before out of the internet. Anyway, all right. So look, let's just go ahead and get right into it. But visit permutationspro.com. I have about 8 personal play strategies if you want to go beyond. Like I actually have some new stuff. Actually everything's new. So if you're a former student and or you followed me in the past, everything that you've learned from me previously is all new stuff now. It's all new stuff. You can go to permutationspro.com. You can look at all the new personal play strategies. But what I'm really most proud of is what I'm doing with the team play stuff, or at least me playing for you, because a lot of people have a lot of apprehension. You don't really know how to bet it. You don't really know what to play, why to play it. A lot of strategies that I at least see a lot of people are using, they're not really well thought out. And it's really not thought out because you don't understand how to calculate risk when it concerns roulette. You don't understand the linear line of what we call progressive profit for the casino. What that means is the game of roulette, or any game that has an A/B outcome, particularly like roulette, it doesn't stop. So if you think you're going to beat the game, once you've made, even if you made $1 million on it today, that game is going to continue to go. And the data is going to continue to compile. You just really had a good time making $1 million. But there is no beating the game. It's the only thing, I don't know of any game that you can beat. There's no game. The only thing you can do with a game is just play it very, very well. Okay. And if you want to classify the term beating from a perspective of winning more than you lose, got it. Okay, well, you beat it. But I don't like to look at it that way, because if you start to think that way, then you start forgetting about the small details that it takes to really be a professional at the game and how to dissect the game. Coupled with great financial strategy, you also have to have a great play strategy. Most people don't even really have good play strategies. They have decent strategies, but you know that there's an expected end because they didn't do enough calculations. What you have to understand about, and I'm going to get to the game. I'm going to show you. I'm going to do some Nostradamus stuff. I'm literally going to show you. I've gotten it down to the point where I'm almost can predict the number. Okay, or at least the range of numbers. All right. So this is where I'm at, and I'm about to show you guys in a second. But what I was going to say here, real quick, is just that when you're thinking about trying to figure out how to do this, whether you're using my strategies or your strategies, the thing what you've got to do is understand the variables and calculate the risk based upon the variables. People who play stock, the reason I've created permutations, if you look up the definition of permutations is talking about patterns basically, okay? But I derived the idea of permutations from stock market. I was looking at the stock market, and I was seeing the ups and downs. You know, have you ever looked at a stock market? It's just up and down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, up, up. It's just like like red and black. Okay. The difference between the stock market and the game is that, number one, they're both games. Okay. You got to understand that they're both games and they both have an A and B outcome. All right. The difference in the stock market and the roulette wheel is that there are, well, in this case, 36 variables that you have to calculate your risk with. Okay. Also, once you've calculated your risk with 36 variables, then you have to do what I call well, not so much what I call, a lot of people call it stop loss. You have to figure out what are the breaking points, what are the anomalies within the game in which you know you can be safe to bet, and you can make a very, very high educated bet so that you can play the game more effectively. Okay, and that's the reason why I'm going to show you guys for the next few moments how this is done. Basically, I'm just going to show you, and if you want to look at more, I got a lot of other training videos that I'm talking about how to never ever lose playing roulette again. I'm not going to say it's difficult. It is difficult to lose when you understand how to calculate risk. And I'm going to show you live right here. I'm going to literally call this stuff out, and you're going to see me do it live. I don't have any money in it because most of the times when I play, I'm playing live. I'm playing at a real table because I like to have real cash when I cash out. However, when I do team play, basically you call into an 800 number, you listen to me tell you, okay, we're putting money here or here or here, and then that's just it. Okay, so listen, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the game because one of the things that I did learn is that you do have to have patience. One of the things you should not be doing if you're trying to be effective at beating this game is playing every spin. Okay, you can't do it because the data that's being supported is coming every 30 seconds. Okay, imagine if you had a business and you had to make a choice on a customer every 30 seconds. If that's the business you were in, you had to make a choice, or you had to, make a choice on how to acquire a customer every 30 seconds. Not only are you going to run yourself crazy, but you're going to run yourself broke. Okay, it's not that. It moves too quick in this environment. That's one of the reasons why people fail very quickly, because the data or the abilities to make an acquisition moves in 30-second increments. In business, it moves in days, which is why it takes 4 years before most businesses fail. I think the term is, I think it's like 4 years, 4 years, 90%. There we go. 90% of businesses fail in 4 years. So the reason it takes so long is because the business cycle or the decision or the acquisition time, time is money, folks. You got to think about it. Time is money, but the acquisition time is shrunk into 30 seconds, not a day. So if you were to do some marketing to acquire customers, it might take, $2,000 or $3,000 of marketing, but I guarantee you're not going to be making decisions every 30 seconds. It's just too fast unless you have the capabilities to handle it, upon which you have to make the right calculation. In a business setting, you're going to have to hire accountants, lawyers, employee staffs, and so much more to be able to make those type of decisions on an acquisition on a customer every 30 seconds. You'd have to do a whole lot. All right. So while I'm going here, I'm still watching the board. And I'm looking at a number of different things. I'm looking at the hot and cold. I'm looking at, which is here. I'm also looking at the black and red, but I'm also looking at, let me click here. Here we go. I'm also looking at dozens and different things like that, columns, because when I make my calculated or educated guess, it's going to be within a range of numbers, but I'm not going to actually play the numbers. We're going to play the columns. And the reason I'm playing the columns is because there is a time frame here, and it's like 30 seconds, and sometimes it takes me a moment to make the right calculation. So you just have to be patient. And but the thing of it is that I've tested this over, I want to say 10,000 times. I have spreadsheets after spreadsheets after spreadsheet of nothing but data, right? And my calculation shows my abilities to make a progression up to 16, and the most I've ever seen it progressed to was about 7. That's the most I've ever seen in 10,000 spins the way that I'm doing it now. So, and forgive this, again, we're having to be patient because I'm waiting for a certain thing, a certain event to happen. All right, so so a lot of folks say, you know, you should not wait for certain events to happen. That's the biggest myth ever. And because it goes back into, again, you're talking about A/B outcome. Don't look at this as a game of roulette. I think that's a lot of people's problem. You guys are looking at it like a casino. You're looking at it how it's been marketed to you. They want you to look at it from that perspective, literally, because that's how they market it to you. And so, you know, when you're looking at it from that angle, that's where you end up getting screwed. Okay. Never ever have a strategy that you know has a straight defined end. For example, permutations is great. For example, like you can do permutations and you can make a lot of money. But as I always tell you, with permutation, there is a progressive end, meaning if you have 9 progressions, then at the 9th progression, if you should lose, you're out. Okay. Even though I am able to go to 18 progressions, the way that I'm playing it, I don't give the game the rhythm. The game, look at this right here. For example, you see how this is going all black. The game generally works in a rhythm. It has a pattern, a flow, and you've got to understand the flow of the game, and then you'll be able to interpret the numbers after you've had a thorough understanding of how the game itself works. All right. All right. So I'm looking here, and again, I'm getting close here because I'm not judging by color at all. Actually, I'm actually judging this by the number. So I'm looking at the number, because if I was doing it by the color, we would have put all our money on black. You know what I'm saying? We would have just been playing black, and it seems like black is just going pretty ham right now. So that's good for anybody who's playing that way. But as you do know, the same way they can go 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 straight black, it could also go 10 straight red. And it could also go 20 red, black, red, black, red, black. It could do so many different things because the game is chaotic. Why is the game chaotic? Because the decisions of acquisition of the A/B outcome, that means red, black, or 32, 23. It's either going to be 23 or it's going to be any of the other ones, right? It's only one thing that it's going to do. So based upon that, it moves in 30-second increments. That's incredibly fast, right? So that's the reason why the chaos is the way it is. All right. So, but hey, again, if this were you, if you were playing this way, you would have been making money, but I would never play this way. It looks good. It looks attractive, but it's a calculation. It's good if you win it one time, but it's just too difficult to calculate. All right, so I'm getting close, though, because I'm seeing a uniqueness in some of the way these numbers are forming, regardless of the fact that it's all black. And I'm guessing we probably start making some bets in the next few spins, but that's where you have to be patient. Now, let's talk a little bit about team play while we're being patient. When you're doing, I call it team play because with a team, you can shrink your it's 2 things you can do with a team. You can reduce your risk by, I don't know, 50%. If you have 3 people in your team, you can reduce it by as much as a third. So if your bankroll or if your required bankroll is $1,000 with a team, it's $500. However, you're going to have to split the profits that you made. Okay, so that's the thing about team. You're going to have to make the split. And which is fine, but you don't have the risk. The way that I'm going to guide you with a team when you do team play, when you call in, you pay a session fee for 1 hour, because for the entire hour, I'm just literally, and we'll, by the way, we'll be playing 2 games. So we'll have the English wheel up. We'll also have the European wheel up on Bovada. So, but this entire time, I'm actually looking at the anomalies. I'm looking at making calculations on the numbers, and I've gotten it again. I've done it so long that I've gotten it down pretty good. And so it's worked effectively, and hopefully we get some good results, and I can show you what I'm talking about. But again, it's one of the games that you do have to have a lot of patience, which is why I'm actually talking you guys to death. Patience, 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 patience. Most people who are aspiring gamblers do not feel bad. Okay? Don't feel bad about being a gambler, because everyone in this world is a gambler. It's just that most of us aren't professionals. Okay, what is a gambler? A gambler is a person who takes risk. Okay, so what's the difference between a person who takes a medium risk and a person who takes a mild risk, or a person who takes a big risk? Well, the reward is the difference, right? Let me reset this real quick. Hopefully, well, based upon what I saw, we still had a way to go. All right, so so everyone's a gambler because we're all having to take a risk. The difference between the winners and the losers is what? Who makes the most educated risk assessment, and who plays upon the that said risk assessment. Okay, so that's what makes, you know, for a very professional gambler. Whether you're in business, listen, and if you have a business, God bless you. But I used to be in business. And I still have a couple businesses, including the magazine, lifelessonsmagazine.com, which is right now under a lawsuit because we had a web developer who did not give us our domain back, and we were trying to go forward. We had actually we're doing stuff right now in New York, Atlanta, Chicago, and DC. But we're having to relaunch and go through this whole lawsuit, and it's tiring, but it's necessary. Believe me, it's necessary. Got to do it. Got to do it. All right. But back to my whole original thought is that the more you understand is the about what you're doing and how to best acquire a customer or make the most appropriate gamble in that acquisition, because there is no guarantee in business. 90% of businesses fail. What fool with that type of statistic would actually go in business? Think about this, guys. I'm going to give you a really good scenario. The only thing you got in this life is time. Okay. Now, what you do with that time is what you understand to do, what you have knowledge to do. So the more knowledge and understanding you have of the time, then the better decisions you're going to make. Now let's talk about time. All right, so I think we're about ready now. All right, so we got a 23. Look at this. She's starting to streak red. All right, so what I'm going to do, if I were betting, I'm going to put, which we're not playing this way, but what I would do is put money between 1 and in here. The first, well, technically 1 through 6, but we'll say 1 through 9. But when we do team play, what we'll do is we'll say put $5 or $10 right here on 1. Of course, I don't have any money deposited, but we will put $5 on. Actually, let me take that back. 1, 2. Actually, we should wait. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. Miscalculation. I need to wait. I need to have more patience. Almost made a wrong bet. I mean, it probably end up hitting anyway. But, all right, so let me look at this again. All right. Look at that. Wow. Well, okay. I was wrong in a good way. And I guess I made the right calculation. I know, but okay. Let me just be honest with you. I was making the right calculation, but the way that I'm going to show you is so that we can make sure that we last in the event that I'm ever wrong, right? That we have enough progression power to double the amount that I've ever seen this thing go in terms of progressions, which is 7. Okay, more than double it. So that's the goal with playing this way. All right, so 1, 2. Yeah, we still got a little way to go, but yeah, that would have been a mistake that we won with, which is fine. You don't mind winning, do you? But yeah, we would have won on that one. All right, so let me look here and see what's going to be the next best bet to make here. 519.23. Let me check here. And based upon what I wrote down from earlier stuff, it looks like we shouldn't play. All right, so let me just chill here. 323. 519. Let me turn it up. It's kind of boring. Or is it? There we go. There you go. And that way you don't think this is pre-recorded. So you can see I'm able to turn this up and down. All right, so this is real stuff. All right. But let me look here. Seems like I might have thrown myself off. 20. What was that? 23. Okay. Okay, so here's what we'll do. I'm just gonna make this interesting. So we're gonna assume, I'm back here on in this area. So I think what we're gonna do, we'll be landing somewhere in here again. So, but if I was playing this way, I'd put money in here, but we'll just put it on the column 1. Just to make it quick, because I don't want to run you guys' time up. But generally, when we're playing this, it's the safest thing to do, because I swear, like it's. And another thing you can do before you do team play, you can do a sit-in play. Like you can come in, you can sit in, you can play if you want, but you don't have to use your own money. Boom! Wasn't I right? So look at this. So I was right 2 times in a row. I hit 10. So if, as I told you, there's a certain way of looking at these numbers now. When you've done this again, folks, I've done this for like the last year and a half. I've done nothing but analyze this. Okay, when I came up with permutations, I was looking at it from a perspective of stock. Let's see if I can do something else. Let's see, 29, 23, 10. Okay, here we go. Let's go in here. I got money in here. Yeah, I got money here. I normally, and technically, really, when we play, it's again, I've seen it, the most I've seen is 7. But with this game and the speed in which it moves, you can never assume that you've got it together. Like, the moment you think it won't do something, it will do something. But here's what I've been able to do. I've been able to, for example, like, I don't know if the record, I think they said red came up 27 times, right? That's the record. All right, so if that's the record, then that means that there is a limitation. Why hasn't red ever went 1,000 straight times? The reason why red doesn't go 1,000 straight times, or black doesn't go 1,000 straight times, is because of the variable system. Because there's a limitation on the variables, the patterns that they create are limited as well. You just have to know the limitations and how to bet within that range of limitation. All right, so I'm going to put money back here again. Oh, we lost it? Cool. All right, so that would have been our second progression. All right, and I still... Wait a minute, 10, 3, 29. All right, so let's change that. Well, we're not betting this, but we'll put money on this right here. But instead, what we'll do, just to make sure we're more than good, we'll just cover our third progression will be on 3. Okay. All right. So let's say, I don't know, we put $20 here just to make it quick. Within an hour, by the way, if you're doing it by yourself or with a team, just depends on what the minimums. I have a number of different sessions that you can join in and log into. I have a high roll session, a mid roll session, and a low roll session. A low roll session, you can make $100 an hour in a session, and the session is an hour long, by the way. All right, so that would have been our third progression that we lost. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, Okay. Yeah, which is fine. Okay. Yep. All right. So we just have to wait. And it's funny. She looks like my ex-wife. But that was years ago. Years ago. Years ago. Years ago. But anyway, so when you come into a session, the sessions are typically, like I said, they're hour long. But you can make it by yourself. It's $100 in a session, which is an hour long. If you play high roll, you can make as much as $1,000 in a session. And the sessions, the way that I'm going to go, the only difference in the play style is really the money, because there is no difference in play style. Okay, we won't betting this, by the way. So just know that even though it hit 33, and I originally said that, we won't taking this bet. All right, so we wouldn't have played here, no way. So it's no big deal. We're actually being patient. I have to let a few of these numbers cycle through again, and so we lost that first set, those first three that I went for. So we lost that to the 3-0 and the 12. We don't cover the 0 in the house in this game, so the 0 is irrelevant. The 0 acts just like a number in this case. All right, so this is irrelevant. Don't get so spooked that you see this big fat 0 sitting there. Just make it 30, number 37. Okay, it's not a big deal at all. Believe me, it's not a big deal. But yeah, so when you log in for a session, some of the sessions you might have as many as 10, 12 wins, maybe more. If we're playing if we're playing like the English will and we're playing the European will, which is what we'll do, we'll do something. It'll look just like this. Let me pull it over. We'll have both of these bad boys up and going. And you can play them both. I'll be able to do calculations on both of these and tell you exactly where to go next. Okay? So, so we'll play them both. So if we're playing 2 games, you're going to have, I'll tell you, when you log into the permutationspro.com, while this is going, I'm going to see if I can pull up the website real quick. Give me 1 second. Permutations Pro. There we go. Permutationspro.com. And again, this is a very, very, I don't even know why this, the stream seems to be working fine, but when I go on websites, I'm at this Marriott. I hate to put you out there like that, Marriott, because I love Marriott. Marriott's I've always had a good time at Marriott. But for some reason, the internet's really slow. All right. Let me see here. All right, so we got some opportunity coming up here. So this is where the team play comes in, because what I would have you do, if I see 2 areas of opportunity, if you have a team, what I will tell one person to do, I will tell another to do something else, so that we can make as much money on this board as possible. Even though the reason why I like playing with 2 boards is because we now have multiple ways of analyzing data instead of just one game. So we can lower our minimums because we literally have 2 games that we're looking at. So we can make the same money and take half the risk because we're playing with 2 games. Does that make sense? You see what I'm saying? So instead of, in terms of time, you don't have to just be on one board. You could see opportunities here, and it could hasten up your abilities to make money. All right, so let me look and see what she's done. All right, so let's put, I got money here between 13 and 18. We're going to put money on section 2, or dozens 2. And I'm sorry, folks, for talking your head off, but I just have to do something, because one of the things about it, like I said, you can win up to 10, 12, 15 times in an hour, and that certainly will make you well more than 100, even if you're playing a minimum. Because the average win, even if you're playing at $1, it's like $3 or $4 a win. So you get the idea. All right, voila! Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Now, how did I do that? Well, if you want to take advantage of it, log into a sit-in play, and you can play by yourself. The sit-in. Well, let me give you an idea how this works. All right, so session fees are like between 10. It just depends on the session. The high roll sessions cost a little more. The low roll sessions are as low as 15. The average is about $20 a session. So basically, you pay the $20 in a session, and you just listen to me call the shots. And the reason why I'm going to call the best shots is because I've done the best homework. I've done the best research, and there's zero way I'm going to get you guys on the phone live and screw it up. There's just no way. I take pride in who I am. I take pride in what I do, and I stand behind what I do. And so that's it. So you join a session if you want to look at it. I'm going to put more videos of this caliber showing you guys this kind of stuff. That way, if you don't want to sit in on a session, you want to just jump in and make money, fine. But I do have some sit-in sessions that you can sit in, and a lot of which I'll be talking about how the process works, which is pretty much what you just saw here. But the sit-in sessions I won't be doing 2 games at a time. It'll just be one game in a sit-in session because I want you to thoroughly understand the advantage that you have playing this way. The advantage that you have actually letting me do it for you. Okay. I'm gonna have a lot more videos like this coming up, but there's a huge advantage to it. You just sit in on a session. Like I said, you go to permutationspro.com, join a session, and you could do a sit-in, or you could do an actual, even in a sit-in, you could follow along in the sit-in and make the money, because I'm gonna call the shots as if we're playing for real. But it's up to you. But the actual the sit-in sessions, you only get one. Okay, so once you've done one sit-in session, you're not going to get multiple because you're not going to take advantage of me. Okay, you're not going to do it. Also, too, there's a way. The technology that they've got with 800 numbers now, there's a way to detect certain things or certain activity of people trying to defraud. Or trying to bring others into the game on the backside. The moment that I detect that, the fees go up. So just do us all a favor. My fee is very low. And the only reason it's low, let me give you some perspective. Well, if it's that good, why don't you keep it to yourself? The reason I'm not keeping it to myself is because I can make double the money staying home and helping you out versus trying to be a doggish dog and keep it all for myself. I mean, I've just pretty much shown you 3 straight times of me predicting the landing of the number. I could do this for the rest of the night. And I'm going to have more videos. And again, just sit on the session. Just come into a session. It's going to be me talking unless I have someone else sitting doing what we call a session leader. Unless I have a session leader, you can just sit in on the session. It'll be me for the most part. But this is... it's pretty impressive. That's all I'll say. But again, if you want to do something on your own, you don't want to do team play sessions. You don't want to, $20 is nothing when you know you're going to make $100 to $1,000. The only thing I do say, though, is that in this case, don't tip her, tip me. Okay, the reason the fees are low is because I am the dealer in this case, and I do accept tips, and my fees are low. So take advantage of the moment and don't try and defraud it, okay? Because if you try and defraud it, I swear to God, the fees are going to jump, all right? And those who are making money with it are going to be very upset, and it's going to force you to go higher. So don't try and defraud me. I have ways of knowing different things. I can't say, but I do. So don't try and do it, and because they will jack up. And if you're winning a lot of money but you don't tip, then guess what? The winnings might slow up too. That's what happens at the casino. I was at the casino last week, and it wasn't that I wasn't trying to tip. It was just that I had maybe 4 shots, because you go to the casino, they'll give you shots all day. But I had 4 shots, and what I'm showing you, the stuff I'm doing right now, I was doing at the casino. And everyone's, oh, wow, ooh, wow. And there was just there's a crowd of people at the table, and I was having a lot of fun, and I just forgot. I forgot. Next thing you know, for whatever reason, the ball just didn't roll my way. I had to be patient. I still won. I walked away a winner, believe that. But it took me more time, and the dealer, which, by the way, folks, however fast she spins this, or if there's some kind of magnet or whatever, it doesn't matter. I swear to God, it does not matter. and the reason why it won't matter because we're going to be playing in the columns. Okay, so that's another thing. So even if they do have a magnet, and we had, say like money on this group, well, if you look at how they're spread around the wheel, it's almost It's almost impossible to stop us. If it's that rigged, then damn it, they deserve it. That's a really good rig system. But so far, so amazing, and they have not. So I'm not going to continue to talk you to death. Visit permutationspro.com. If you have any questions, hit me up on the number that's listed on the site, or you can email me, ipayalceo@yahoo.com. If you want the spreadsheet, that's what I meant. By the way, if you get any of the free stuff, there is a spreadsheet that I do a bang up job. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this up. Every time I try to do this thing just sucks. All right. So I've broken down, there's a number of different ways to play a lot of different things. Like these, this Double Trouble 1 and 2, Anomalix, Black Tie, Columbine. These are all single play strategies that I teach you how to play by yourself. Revenge of Permutations. If you liked permutations, I'm going to show you not only how to do permutations. Well, the free one is original permutations and permutations for columns, but the Revenge of Permutations, it's almost as good as what I'm doing now. It's 10 times better than anything I've ever shown on YouTube or anywhere, but it's almost as good as what I'm doing now. What I'm doing now, I think, can't be beat. Not because I haven't seen anything that came close to it in even over 10,000 spins. So anyway, so you can get the spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet, I actually have a video coming out talking about how to bet certain things. Like, for example, did you know that, like, one of my progressions, we can go up to 180 progressions. Like, there's ways to play numbers, folks, okay, and not even blow your bank. I got the answers. So anyway, so just hit me up. I am, as you can tell, I'm so excited. I'm very, very excited because it was so long. It's been a very, very rough year and a half personally. I lost my 11-year-old. She's like my daughter, but she's my niece. She died of a heart attack. And one of the things that, you need a reason to do what you're doing. If you're just in this thing for the money, it's good, but you need a reason. And not that I didn't have a reason for living or anything before, but I just realized how short life was. And I'm not going to live my life bound. I'm not going to live my life senselessly. I'm going to make the right decisions. I'm going to make the right calculations. We all are here as gamblers in this world. We are all taking a chance. We're all taking a shot. The people who actually do the best in this world is the people who have the most knowledge. Okay, the people who have the most knowledge, they make the knowledge applicable, and then they make the best bet on how they're going to manage their time and their money, whether it's in business or not. But understand this: if you're a business, if you're an entrepreneur, there's a 90% chance of failure. Okay, 90% chance. In 4 years, this is the odds that most people run. 4 years is a 90% chance of failure. So even if you played red and black in 4 years, you did nothing but the fourth year, if you came to the casino and you made one bet on red, you still have a better chance at success than you do starting a business with the same money. So if it took you $10,000 it took you time and money, so you're talking hundreds of thousands, but you could do the same thing at a casino. And it only take you 30 seconds, whereas it took you 4 years to fail. Statistically, you have a 90% chance of failure. Now, I'm not trying to tell anybody to not start a business. What I am telling you is to think about the game that you're playing in business. It's about the numbers. It's about the risk. If statistically the odds are at 90%, and I could show you how to take that 90% and go down to less than 1%, okay? And I could not only take that 4 years and I could shrink it down to maybe a month. I mean, good God, like the calculations that you have to make in business, the risk, you can't even calculate all the risks that you're going to have in business. You might do good the first 2 years, but you didn't know that I was going to come into your town and I had $10 million and I was going to outmarket you and push you out the market. You didn't calculate that. You didn't even know I was going to do it. But this happens all the time. People fold. But what you can't afford to lose is your time. And that's what's happening. We're losing time. In the casino world, we're losing time and money because we don't have education. We don't have knowledge. We don't know how to apply it. But this is why I'm doing the session. You can sign up for the session. Even if you don't do the session, you can get any one of those single play strategies. And I swear to you, they're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. You still have to be patient. You still have to manage. And I'm going to show you all of that in any of those strategies that you buy. All this is new stuff that I've got. This ain't old stuff. This is all new. But the stuff that I'm doing wherein I'm playing for you, my whole entire being is and reputation's on the line. I'm not suggesting that we can't fail. What I'm suggesting is that I've created an anomaly that I have never seen in the game in over 10,000 spins, upon which my progression is double the maximum that I've seen it go. That's what I'm saying. So when you have something that powerful, you can kind of speak with your chest out a little bit. Anyway, kind of miss you guys. I'm back again. And, like I said, since my niece has passed, my whole new purpose now is to live my best life. And I want to do the same for you. I can't make the kind of money I want to make by myself. I just realized that. I just can't. I can go to the casino. I'll be there for 6 hours. I might make, let's say I made $1,000 in 6 hours, which has happened a few times. But let's just say I've done that. Within that same 6 hours, if I help 30 of you guys, I can make maybe double of that just in a session fee, doing the same thing that I'm doing by myself. And at the same time, you guys are making between $100 and $200 a session or more. So I think it's a win-win. Anyway, so hit me up. Hope you guys are great. I'll be talking to you soon. Take care.